camera reach.
Oh, nice. I love that. The viewers getting up and close with the Middlemeister.
It could be fighting over the who's carrying. No, I want being shot. No, I'm being shot. No, I want being shot.
How does that work live then? Do you have one main camera live, and then once you edit it, you then
No, I can do live switching
on the fly?
Yeah, I can do live. I can do live scene switching. So, is the audio all right?
Yeah, sounds all right.
Goody.
We're good. So, I need a haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just seen myself.
Yeah, I do too.
So I'm going bald, so don't worry about it.
I mean, I do look like sort of
a farmer.
I was thinking more like Hagrid's like sort of illegitimate son, but
yeah, there's a bit of Hagrid about you. Never noticed that really before. Bit of the old haggers.
Yeah, no, I need to. Yeah, no, that's not good.
Maybe that should be your new name on here, Hagrid.
No,
no,
very sad.
No, I've got
very
TheSuffolkRam,
sad.
That's fine. And I've got to my friends' daughters, I'm known as the Gruffalo.
Yeah, I see that too. Yeah,
yeah, they all know me as Gruffalo. So, can anybody well on TheSuffolkRam?
Middlemeister here.
Skazz.
I said Middlemeister.
Right, to be honest, Middlemeister, whenever I write the show notes, I guess how to spell your name every single time.
So every single one. If anyone's actually searching for Middlemeister in the tags, they ain't getting it.
To be honest, if you look at our show notes, sometimes in the same set of show notes, it'll be spelled about 2 or 3 different times differently.
I'm an enigma. That makes me more mysterious.
No, you're awkward and have a long name. I mean, Skazz, I can figure out. I could figure out Skazz how to spell that without having to think about it too much. Yeah. But Middlemeister, where do you begin?
Well, with an M.
Usually, I was going to say with an M.
Normally middle.
You usually start at the beginning.
Yeah, the middle part's not too bad.
Fine. If you're going to be like that, so it's going to be. So, the Immortal Pitbull says I made it. So, hello. Good
Hi,
evening.
Pitbull.
Hi, Pitbull.
The rapper or not associated?
I don't know. Are you associated with the rapper Pitbull? Can you let us know? Cool.
Yeah,
just everyone else. And Annie on Twitch evening, lads. Evening, Annie.
Hi, Annie.
Are you okay, Annie?
They got
okay?
Are you
okay, Annie?
Got to watch me suffer playing No Man's Sky. Don't play that game.
Well, shall we show on to games we've been playing then?
I'm not talking about No Man's Sky. If you want another quick review of No Man's Sky, if you've ever played Ark Survival Evolved or Subnautica or that other one that's in space or any of those games based on like that kind of style, it's in space with spaceships and a really, really poop UI. It's awful. So don't play it. Even after all those patches.
How many people don't realise, how many developers don't realise that actual fact, the main part of the game, really, the UI has got to be good.
Mate, yeah, the UI in that game sucks.
Bad UI design is such a curse of so many games, particularly any strategy game. Particularly 4X strategy games. Bad UIs are the bane of 4X strategy games.
Yeah.
They used to be really bad on consoles for a long time. But games converted from PC. They're a lot better at these days, but they used to be really bad.
Have you ever played City Skylines on Switch?
Not on Switch.
Have you got
I'm obsessed with that game on PS4. Yeah.
But how does that work on the control pad?
They've done quite a good job, really. It's all along the bottom. You just kind of use your pad, press X, and then it brings up another bar. They've kind of improved it over time with different functionality, but I find that really easy to use.
Oh, rockin'.
Because you use your second controller to pivot stuff.
Sure.
Like the big stuff, and then you use like the left stick just to move within that screen.
Sure.
So the second one moves the whole thing, and then the second one moves within that shot, and then you can go along the bottom and. It's not as good as a mouse, but it's a really good compromise. They've done a pretty good job at that, actually.
Well, I had to ask because I've been tempted to get on Nintendo Switch.
It's a little iffy on Switch. Is it? The frame rate and stuff.
Oh, well. Yeah, but come on, man. It's a city builder.
There might be a way around it, but,
Well, I've got it on PC, but I just felt like I wanted to have it on the go. Don't get me wrong, I've got my laptop. If my laptop ain't plugged in, it runs at sub 30 frames a second anyway.
Can you sync them across the PC and Switch so you can that's a pity.
No, I know, it's a bit of a shame, isn't it?
Yeah. They've done a lot. They've actually been really good.
Your mic cable's going to pick up the noise of you rubbing that. That's going to annoy the shit out of me.
Well, I'm going to have to hang it over here because I keep having it.
On PS4, that's had really good post-launch support because all the DLC...
Sorry, Skazz, for the editing.
Has come to that, including all the free stuff as well, that came along with it. So you've got mass transit, natural disaster, all that. Now they've got green cities and park life and industrial coming as well. So I love that game.
Industrial, so you can like turn your city into an absolute wasteland where everybody's dying.
You can do, if you want to.
Why not?
You can do whatever
I
you
did
like,
that with
really.
my first city. It was a complete disaster.
We've talked about Nictopia.
Yeah.
The various Nictopias.
We don't speak.
Let's speak about Nictopia 1, 2, 3 or 4.
What are you talking about? It's only
Yeah, no.
Nictopia.
So maybe Nictopia 5.
Next time we do that 24-hour, I'll do like a long...
Yeah, man, that'd be
I'll
neat.
do city from
Cool,
scratch.
That sounds cool, yeah.
Yeah, build up from scratch.
And you've
I'm
got
pretty good at it now.
Civ 6 on Switch.
Yes.
How is that?
Absolutely brilliant.
Really?
Really, like... There's
How
not,
fluid is it?
It's really, really smooth, and like it's not even a compromise either. It's not like Civ 6 mobile. It's the full, more or less, full PC thing. It's really brilliant.
I was tempted. I got Civ
If
6
you're
on the
tempted,
PC.
if you like that sort of, yes, I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, I think the last Civ I played, I think it was Civ
5?
4?
Four?
No, I think
Wow.
4, yeah.
Mine was 2.
The
on
one,
PS1.
with Leonard Nimoy narrating all the sort of like upgrade
yeah.
stuff. Was that for?
That might have been 3 ones.
It might be
that
3
was one of
actually.
the
It was the
early
first 3. It was the first 3D proper 3D one.
This one's Scene Bean. He does the narrating. You know, at Game of Thrones.
Cool. Oh yeah.
Scene Bean. Yeah, he's good.
Oh, scene.
Because of the
Bean.
yeah.
That took me a sec.
Yeah. Oh,
Does he die in Civ 6?
Does he die right at the start?
Don't forget.
No, he dies 2/3 of the way through Civ 6.
The normal rule is he dies in good
Yeah, but
stuff
matches could last.
and survives in bad stuff.
So is that? So does that mean Civ 6 is bad?
No, because he might die. I haven't finished it all yet.
That's true.
He might die.
It might be like the last
might-
minute.
the plague
The
might
last
rush,
message just went, as you're about to launch, he says, "Oh, your spaceship to get to Alpha Centauri." He goes, "Oh, I've made it all the way through. Oh no, the blast!" Ah.
Yeah.
Stood next to the launch pad.
Yeah. Whoops,
Gandhi's
dude.
very twitchy with the nuclear thing. Cause
Yeah, he said he did it deliberately now.
yeah, there was a glitch, wasn't there? And then they moved his nuclear tendency or whatever up to like 10.
What they happened
And then
is that he basically they I think the scale was on 0 to 255.
Yeah.
And Tom's going to love this because we're getting into technical stuff. And he's going to love this bit.
I have heard this before.
And basically, he started as a passive value of 0. Later on, there's an event in the
I
whole
clicked
game
over, didn't I, or
that
something?
basically rolls not say by skill 0 value down because he started at 0. He underflowed back to 255, which made him become hyper aggressive, want to kill everybody.
So he's not that bad, but he will still occasionally nuke you.
Yeah. So what was a
Yeah.
bug?
He'll still only occasionally nuke
Yeah,
you.
not all the time.
It's
Just,
not that big of a deal.
just don't really, if you really piss him off or whatever, go from pacifist to nuclear.
You just look at him.
Scene
you just
Cat
look
has
at him.
asked, does anyone know where the toilets are?
No.
He was shown that he should have been here for the pre-podcast briefing.
Yeah.
That everybody else received.
Yeah.
It's always one.
There's always one. They're always late to the thing, and then they all know that this all goes through. You've missed how to put your life vest on. Mm-hmm. You've missed all that important stuff. We haven't talked about what time the food tray's coming round. The answer is never.
Oh man.
We haven't got budget for that, mate.
Yeah, we can't afford. We can't afford.
I skipped McDonald's today. I'm quite hungry now.
Yeah.
He skipped McDonald's. That means we can afford it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Budget for the show has gone up 300%.
Annie Bio says City Skylines were the first PC games doing which last couple of years I was actually interested in, but couldn't be asked to spend time and cash putting a decent game rig together. Don't need that massive a powerhouse machine to play City Skylines. I mean,
No, man, you can run that on a
basic
pasty.
yeah,
That's okay on an Xbox.
yeah,
basic.
get a par, you'll
Yeah.
be fine.
One.
I mean, you can literally run that on nothing. If you buy a Billy Bob Basic Burner PC off eBay for less than $100, you can easily run that game.
It looks great on.
A 50 quid. Like, go and buy a cheap refurbed business PC, like an Optiplex 990, or a Dell T3500, because that'll take a full size graphics card, and then get something like, I don't know, a 7970 for about 50 quid. You'll play everything with no problem. Just saying.
It's well worth it. It's a great game. I love it.
Yeah, I like the game.
That's the only thing about consoles I miss out on sometimes. Those sort of games,
Yeah.
like football manager and stuff.
I mean, I've played Seaborn games before when I I played, and I never really got into them because I played like Simpson and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So then I played City Skylines. I really got into City Skylines.
Mm-hmm.
Although I did find there's a point where traffic management becomes a real problem.
They have fixed a lot of that now.
When you build even the biggest big roads, and I tried to do it so that there'd be plenty.
The roads right next door to the school, like 8-lane fucking motorways.
Yeah, I did that. I was demolishing houses to put bigger roads in.
They have fixed a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
Low-income families, get out.
You have a lot more control of it now, so you can turn off traffic lights and have stop signs instead, and make it flow a lot easier. Like have it directed the right way and things.
You assume that people in Nictopia are kind.
There is
trying to get out.
There is a bridge in Nictopia because I purposely put like a sort of residential district and then another district. And I realised everybody was struggling to go through like this sort of like road network to the industrial to work. So I built a bridge. Literally from one end of the residential all the way across the map. It sort of has to sort of like weave its way round parts of the map because they're inaccessible. It's got this sort of wiggly woggly bridge that goes from one side of the map to the other. This is really in the wrong place. I need to start using my left hand. Sorry, Skev. And it sort of like wiggles its all the way round, and it's all at one point it goes into. It's like a roller coaster. So it goes underneath the ground and comes back out, and eventually it didn't work.
It's tricky.
But at that point, I spent so much money building. It's like, well, it's going to stay.
Okay, you can get it. Mine traffic flow level was up to about 82% at the highest, and that was a big city. So that takes a while, but you can. It's kind of like a puzzle solving game, really. The city builders in a lot of ways.
There's probably a puzzle game to be made out of actually traffic management.
Yeah, but they made thingy, didn't they?
Idea.
They made Cities in Motion before they made City Skylines. Those City in Motion games, they were those guys.
Oh.
Which is why, for me, traffic's quite good at that in Skylines.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I have to play that again at some point.
I would, I'm obsessed with it still. That's what I've been playing this week, really. So, but we've already talked about it quite a bit. So, in the past,
We just have.
Yeah.
Good job. Review, get it on every platform.
Yeah. Buy it now.
yeah,
Twice.
I don't know, mate, once we probably do.
No.
Not
You'll get it
for
on
you,
every
but
platform.
Not for you, but you have to buy everything.
I've got to get it on the Switch, I've got to get it on the
Switch.
Xbox.
I mean, apparently he's now got 1,000 games on Steam. What he doesn't tell you is that they're all actually about 5 different games. You
Just
support
over and over and over
multiple
again.
platforms.
gold editions. And
How many
stuff.
versions of Hub Different Tuna do you own on Steam? How many different versions on it do you own?
Well, you can only own one, but I know that's supposed to be a piss take question, but I own it on Steam, GOG, PlayStation Vita, and I believe they're redoing the first one on maybe Switch. So and they had the PS3 versions.
I'll say I'm showing a PS3 version.
Yeah, so I own it probably about 5 times. Thereabouts.
The same game.
Oh, wait, no, because I own it physically and digitally on Vita.
6 times. The same game 6 times.
Jeez.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
You single-handedly kept that company
I'm
alive.
not sure there's anything right with it either.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's like Assassin's Creed 1. I owned that on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC.
That wasn't even a very good game.
I prefer
Second
Assassin's
one,
Creed
but-
1 to Assassin's Creed 2.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, that
I
is
don't
a
like
unique opinion. That is. blimey.
Ezio Auditore is a snivelly little bitch boy.
But the game is so much better.
No,
There's so much more to do.
No, mate. The idea that the entire ending of the game is locked behind the idea that you have to go through and find those scrolls. Get fucked. Thankfully, I'd already done it, so I only had 5 left to get by the time the game was like, no, you cannot progress any further until you go and do all these randomly, like all these random things where you have to scale buildings and solve these little puzzles. Piss off. The ending was horse shit as well. Soul of Les, I will speak to Desmond through his
the apple and all that,
ancestor.
yeah.
What's a crock of shit? If you like Assassin's Creed 2's story, you're a fucking moron.
So I played my first Assassin's Creed this year, or last year now, actually, technically, with Origins, and I did not get on with it at all.
No.
I love that game.
I did not like it at all.
I got Odyssey as well. I love that too.
I didn't like the fact that your guy. I mean, I like the character actually. I thought he was quite. I like the
Yeah,
character.
it's
Which
got a
one was
decent
it?
story.
Bayek.
Oh, yeah.
I like the character, but I didn't like the fact that he's used more so much within like sort of 10 miles of a hay bale. He just jumps into it.
Yeah, static hay bales.
It's better than it used to be that as well. So that used
Why
to be
can't I just have like a button getting hay bale?
Yeah.
You know, why they've got an action, but why
That never
can't
really. That never really. bothered me
Yeah,
too
and
much
it's
this time.
and the I over leveled so quickly. Like before I left like the main, before I got to like, I was too high level for the second area before I even left the first area.
That's why I prefer the original Assassin's Creed, because there were no levels. However, combat in the first Assassin's Creed game and the second one, hold down the parry button and then press the attack button. Everyone dies. Not a problem.
Yeah, that's definitely better these days than it used to be.
No,
I
see,
think
I don't know
combat
about
that great in the old
Yeah, let's be fair. Assassin's Creed combat has always been and will always be complete and utter dog shit.
Yeah. They teach all these sort of tricks and stuff you can sort of special moves and stuff you can do, but in reality, once you play it, you realise that the enemies just can come around behind you in any direction anyway. So, actual fact, they're so Pacific, you're actually just better off just doing hack and slash, slash right through.
That's
Every
what...
try to do like all sort of tricks with the shield or anything like that. It's like it's just a hack and slash them all.
Odyssey improved a little bit because they removed the shield. There's no shield. That made things a little bit more
anyway.
fun.
So
no, I don't think I did either. So they removed it this time.
I haven't played an Assassin's Creed since 2 actually. I completely missed was it Brotherhood and Revelation?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, the other way around maybe.
I've got them, never played them, because to me they were just Assassin's Creed 2.5, and Assassin's Creed 2 was Assassin's Creed 1.5.
Yeah.
Skipped 3.
I played 4.
I've got
3 in Black Flag I played.
I've got 3, got 4.
That's come to Switch, isn't it? 3.
Yeah. It's only the port of the Wii U
Looks
game.
a bit iffy, doesn't it?
Yeah,
to say the least.
It's a little bit sketchy, Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Come on, get it sorted out.
They could even make it look good in the trailer.
Frame rate. Oh my god, the frame rate in the trailer. I'm thinking to myself, come on, guys, it's a fucking trailer.
Kind of blocky as well, and the textures look a bit muddy. And
Well, mate, it looks lower res than the PlayStation 3 version of the
yeah, it's
goddamn
not
game.
good. It's not
Was
pretty.
that on PlayStation 3? I was right.
Yeah.
yeah, it was. Yeah, a couple of comments. Annie says the Assassin's Creed game, the boats looked fun enough to play, which I think is Black Flag.
Yeah,
That was the first one.
there's
The boats are back big time in Odyssey, but 4 was where they Black
everyone
Flag.
told me to play Black Flag.
It was a lot of fun and really, really shiny and sunny and bright and
Family
lots of
members in Black
islands
Flag.
and- Sorry.
Got a family member in Black Flag.
Oh, right.
Just saying.
Pitbull
Or doing a voice
says
or actually
Historical character.
Oh, wow.
Pitbull says I have all the AC games, never played 1 or 2.
Sadness.
Sadness.
Skip one,
Profound
maybe 2.
sadness.
Now, you mentioned you have a historical character, a family member in Black Flag. Are they accurately portrayed? Did they actually have...
No.
Oh.
No.
You mean they didn't actually help a sort of fancy assassin?
That's one of the things that really irked me about Black Flag, to be fair.
I don't think you can't really expect a pirate game to be too accurate.
Well, no, but I mean, you don't take the most ruthless motherfucker of the seas and turn them into a bitch.
Well, Blackbeard, is that... No, because Blackbeard wasn't very evil, was he? He's been portrayed as a bad guy, but I think a lot of that was...
The worst pirate of the time, everyone knows Blackbeard, the worst pirate, or the most vicious pirate on the
Gingerbeard.
seas was Black Bart.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that, yeah.
So,
Black
ruled
Bart
through
Simpson.
fear. Good times.
Good times. Good times. Cool. So anything? So let's...
I haven't been playing any games this
Nice.
this
City
round.
Skylines.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I've got to play that.
Well, I've
really
been playing. So I mentioned briefly that I played very briefly 7 Days to Die.
Yeah.
So I went back to it, and I've got a tiny little bit obsessed with it.
Obsessed with it. I thought you were going to say, I've got a little bit further.
Yeah, because it's because I'd heard of it. I knew it was a survival game. I knew it was a zombie horde survival game. So zombies are everywhere, and you have to sort of survive.
Is that the one that's coming out on Switch soon?
I think that is heading out. Yeah, there was a
They
trailer
need to
for
finish it for the bloody PC. It's still in early access. It's been early access for the last 6 years.
Oh.
Yeah. They also released it on consoles 2 years ago in an early access state. It got rightfully panned for it.
Well, it can't be as bad as Ark, where they released DLC before they even finished the main game.
Yeah. Yeah. So, survival game, there's your basic survival games. You're sort of trapped in this area. It's sort of big thing is you're after sort of a zombie apocalypse. It's never explicitly said how it happened, although you do see newspapers saying like flu pandemic. So and there's a
Too many people fucking drinking Starbucks.
Yeah, there's been a nuclear war as well, so something like that. And so you start the game, and I think I went for there's like a pre-done area which I went for. You can have it randomly generated as well, but I went for the pre-done area. Got the pause in the middle of the sort of snow and ice, and it then gives you get a sort of basic idea of how to craft and so forth, and how to do things.
Your first weapon was a dismembered foot.
An axe, I believe, is the first weapon you get.
Well, you could club someone to death with a leg that you've ripped off a zombie.
You could, but
especially if you freeze it for a bit. Good dunk.
Well, because the first thing you get told to do is but make clothes. Because
you can't make them out of zombies.
Well, you're naked. Well, you
what the fuck are you doing naked?
I don't know, but you do. You respawn naked as well. It's very annoying.
Why are you naked?
I don't know.
How have they not established this in the story? Just randomly, I got really high and really drunk one time.
Don't worry about it.
And I went to this party, and then the next thing I know, the world is in ruins, and I'm butt naked in the middle of a snowstorm.
There you go. Look, when
every
you die,
Saturday night,
you respawn in your bed. What more can I say? But one thing that I was
college nightmare.
I thought it could be like your normal survival game where you sort of look for food, hunt, avoid, and so forth.
Do you mean butt naked or knickers?
Yeah, put your boxer shorts on.
Oh, close enough. Have to be sure.
I mean,
do you shit your pants like you're doing art?
No, you don't shit your pants.
Not good enough.
No, there is an overlook in the whole game. The lack of shitting is a massive overlook. But
sure about that.
It's fucking hilarious, mate.
Yeah,
the character literally grunts.
I've seen trailers of it. Yeah.
There's more of a noise, isn't there, every so often? And he doesn't give you any warning. No. But I also great there's one shit model for that all the animals, so that you'll see like this dodo have a shit that's about the same size as it.
I've seen videos where the shit just goes like that. You know, mountains of it.
Yeah. So
game of the year.
For final thing is, I made a shovel. And I said, you can go dig things. I thought, it's going to be like sort of pre-done areas and so forth. So I just sort of like randomly hit a bit of ground. And I dug the ground. And I thought, hang on a second. And it's a voxel-based game. Like Minecraft.
Oh.
So you could, So it doesn't look it at first, but all the terrain, or as far as I'm aware, everything is destructible. All the buildings are built using the same block system. Unlike Minecraft, though, what they've done is they've made it look a bit, they've sort of done post-processing. So it look, when you like dig a hole, it doesn't come just a straight block.
Square, just collapsing it.
Yeah, and as you dig it, it sort of gradually moulds away slowly, so it sort of like naturally sort of moulds away. It looks really nice, actually.
Okay.
And the buildings and so forth, when you build your buildings, you're not making them out of blocks. You can also get blocks that have like shapes to them. It's like angled or something, so they look nice. Because Minecraft buildings, unless you build like really like out of scale, don't actually look that nice necessarily. They're always sort of a bit too, they all look like blocky.
Yeah.
Unless you build like out of scale, in which case you don't actually use them as such, they're too big. So it looks nice, and I was like, well, that's actually quite neat, actually. So you can start building things. So obviously I'll start then upgrading my house. Well, the house is not a house, it's just a house I found, so sort of paired it and so forth. And
the house he found.
There was no one in it.
Go check out this mansion, mate. And all of a sudden this family comes walking out of the kitchen. What the
They're
hell
not getting in now. They're not getting back in the house now, not after the wall I built round it. They're not getting back in.
Make Nick's house great again.
yeah. I'm keeping those zombies out, motherfuckers. So obviously you have to.
So zombie is code now for Mexican, right?
That's a bit unfair. More code for the Americans.
Oh, so even the Americans.
Yeah. So off I go, and you have to also do your usual. You have to go hunting and so forth. Has got some. The food mechanic is a little bit broken, I think, because.
You eat gravel.
Well, no, right? Okay, so
litter.
you can obviously go. You say find wild this bloody cable, wild deer. You're gonna laugh me,
mate. I ain't editing. Fuck. Every time you hit that thing, I'm gonna hold my ears, scream a little bit, and I'm gonna fucking strangle him with that cable next time he comes around.
So you find a boar. So you get. I kill my first boar. Turns out when you attack a boar, they go aggressive. They don't run away, they run towards you, and I got killed by a boar. My first time I got killed was by a boar.
Awesome.
But when you die, it's what it does, so you drop your backpack of all your stuff in it. So you drop your backpack with all your stuff, so you have to walk to where the back
in it.
You have to walk all the way to the backpack to get all your gear back, so you lose everything.
That's like Zombie U did that on the Wii U.
Yeah.
So if you'd be rocking around the zombie apocalypse, and if you died, you would then have to become a new survivor, and you'd have to get through to where you died to get your kit back.
And obviously, that depending where you die, that can be awkward because I lost
like Dark Souls and all that.
Yeah, I died one time where I died in a because basically, so it's all like all threat level is the zombies just wander around normally how you do in the day, but when it gets to 10 p.m, they start running around.
They start raving.
Yeah, and they do that until 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So I was like raiding a garage,
As you do.
And I was down, and unfortunately I got downstairs. I didn't have a torch. It was dark, and I got attacked by about 10 zombies and killed. So I then had to go back there. Now it's cold where I am, so I'm starting to freeze to death because it's cold. But I'm not interested. I want my backpack back with all my stuff in it, because I'm not, harvesting more food. It's all in the backpack because I carried everything with me, which was in hindsight a mistake.
Yes.
So I go out there and I go first when I go down there. And all I've got to defend myself is my 2 fists. So I have to punch my way through. And of course, again, they kill me again. And
zombies hand-to-hand combat.
No, well, you can kill them if you're the zombies aren't that clever, so you can kill them. They're only dangerous.
Well, they're not, but they're a bit bitey and spitty and
yeah.
I'd say no, mate.
But yeah,
if you find a frozen one outside, break off a leg and beat the bastards to death with it. But no swinging fists at a zombie, mate.
No, you definitely don't want to fist a zombie.
It doesn't do a lot of damage. It takes a long time.
because then you might end up losing it.
It all falls apart, won't it?
That's it. Well, if they're still warm,
it's like an overcooked chicken.
If it's still warm, to bits. If it's still warm, you can make fresh orifice. So as long as you pin it down, no one complains.
Right. Okay. So. Yeah, so I died of this. So I had to keep going down. In the end, what I did was I sort of ran downstairs where zombies were, because they all go back to where they were first, or lay back down again, and then she'd come back again. So I ran downstairs, got them all to see me, ran back outside, got them all to follow me out the door, and then sort of ran around the other side of the building, and because I'm a bit faster than them, so I could sort of run back on myself and get down there but it's dark because I've got no torch or anything, because I ain't got anything.
You didn't see anyone come out from around the corner and dunk.
No, I had to find my backpack. In the end, I had to actually go craft a torch, so I couldn't see it. But
you had to craft a torch. You made it out of polystyrene.
I got a backpack back just as it turned to 10 o'clock. They all started running. I had to leg it back to my house. How
weird is that? What I reckon they are, those are disability claimants who, when the lights go out, they're back to normal, mate.
Dude,
they leave the walking sticks and they're moving fast.
So I'm the PI who's investigating them, which is why they want to kill me.
That's it.
Explains so much.
We've sussed out the plot of this game.
Explains so much. But the food is a bit weird. I think the balance with the food is slightly wrong. So it's quite neat how they've linked everything together. So you have a stamina bar, which is linked directly to your food. So how much food you've had is your max you can have in stamina. So if you've only got 50 points of food, you're going to get 50 stamina. And everything you do pretty much, anytime you swing a weapon, jump, that uses stamina, or you run, you stamina. Normal just walking around doesn't, but if you want to get into a fight, you're going to need stamina.
Yeah.
So it's nicely linked together. And water also links together, because water affects how quickly that bar refills. Okay. So if you're really dehydrated, it will feel very slowly. If you're really hungry, it will feel really quickly. So it's nice to have those linked the systems together. Trouble with food is, okay, you find a boar, you kill a boar, you then set your little knife and you scarf it all up, and you'll get 30 bits of meat off it, right? That sounds good, right? However, when you go to craft the fire to cook your meat, because raw meat's dangerous, you've got 50% chance of getting food poisoning. Oh, and obviously the icon for food poisoning, when you've got it, is a picture of a bottom with a pile of liquid pool underneath it.
Nah.
That's the little icon you go on your screen when you got food poisoning. It's like, you could have gone for other things, but you went with that, and I respect that.
You owned it.
You own it. You're not going to hire, and you respect that. So you get the food. You start to cook it, right? For some reason, it takes 5 bits of meat to equal 1 charred meat, which I think means your guy's really bad at cooking.
Yeah,
it's like, nah, that's no good. I've ruined that one. That's ruined that. There's only 1 in 5 that's actually any good.
The guy's really OCD.
Yeah, but the charred meat only restores 10 points of stamina, right? And it's quite quick to lose. Now, if you're outside and it's cold, you lose that stamina very quickly. So, actual fact, you spend a lot of time. If you get 100 bits of meat, that might last you. If you're doing a lot of heavy work, that might last you a day. I couldn't eat 100 bits of meat in a day. That's 100 steaks. I couldn't eat that much in a day. Even if I'm doing heavy work, I don't need to eat that much. So the food's a bit unbalanced. You can also find tinned food and so forth, which gives you better. And as you get better recipes, they do restore a lot more stamina. But you will find yourself just doing the basic food.
Do you die about stamina, or you
will eventually start to. Okay, so after a while, your stamina minimum's out at 25. You can't go below 25 stamina. Because to be fair, if they did that, you wouldn't have to swing any weapons at all. But eventually, you will starve to death.
Right.
You will eventually starve. If you get down to 0 stamina, that's fine. It will regen back up, but you will eventually starve to death. Because I sort of because of the situation where it was dark and I had no food and it was just dangerous to get. It was stupid to go outside, so I just sort of wait through the night. But even then, because you die, respawn back on your bed, or you can choose to spawn back in your bed or nearby. What's nearby is that your bed basically creates like a safe zone around it, so wherever you put your bed, you're not going to, no zombies will spawn in that immediate vicinity. So you have, wherever you put your bed, basically a safe zone. Now,
Closer to the microphone.
Close to the microphone.
Yeah, you. Closer. Thank you. Continue.
now the other big thing about the reason it's called 7 Days to Die is on the 7th day there's a blood moon.
Bollocks.
It goes red.
Like Wind Waker.
It goes red, and it all goes very dark, but it's all this red tint, and all the zombies, it just spawns like loads of zombies, and they all know where you are, and they're all going to come charging at you. So basically, the idea is 7 days before that, you're meant to be building up your base defences and so forth, getting ready for them. So I didn't know what was happening. I got to day 7, and I thought something was going to happen on day 7 because it's called 7 Days to Die. I didn't know if this game was going to reset or whatever was going to happen. I thought perhaps like a roguelike resets on day 7, you start again, but at your level and so forth. Day 7 rolls around, and all of a sudden, I just hear all these screams, these zombies coming running towards the door, and I can hear them battering on the doors. Because obviously everything's got hit points and health, so all the doors, I just hear this rain battering on the doors. It's like, okay, it's a bit scary. So I went and climbed on the roof and just raced up there. I thought, hopefully they can't climb. Turns out they can climb.
Oh!
Yeah.
I was going to say, can't get up high.
Yeah. So, well, apparently this game's a bit, unlike Minecraft, it's a little bit cleverer. That apparently that it will, if you build a structure and destroy everything underneath it, it will collapse. So, because I did think about like just building a really tall tower with Aladdin climbing to the top and just staying at the top of the tower, and I thought, no, that's not a stupid idea.
Lesson learned, don't do that.
Yeah, they'll just short a couple blocks and they'll just collapse down. You'll die. And I got up there, and of course they raided me, and I sort of I fought valiantly trying to fend them off, and then got promptly killed.
As you do.
So respawned, went back up there, and and eventually the game's a bit nice to you because obviously I was where my bed was. So I respawned literally back in the horde, but after a while it just saw like it all must despawn them because they just seemed to go away. I think it's obviously
They got bored and went away.
Obviously, a blood moon would be a slog. You have to respawn, then get killed because you can't got anything, so you're going to get killed again. So you respawn and get killed. So after that first instant, I thought,
It's not true. You've got a pair of underpants.
You got a pair of
Be
underpants.
thankful.
That's very true. So after that first, I thought, right, okay, I didn't do any defences at all because I didn't even think about it at all. I thought I need to start building some defences. So I basically thought, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to build a moat.
Right.
So I dug a moat around my house.
Right.
Okay. I also built an escape tunnel. So I just dug literally a straight line out to like sort of thing, yeah. And so I thought a little escape tunnel basically, and I've then also built myself a place underground. So I thought that's probably my escape place. I built myself a little bunker underground with an escape tunnel attached to it. So that's my plan, you see. So I spent all weeks all getting ready for this. And I was also doing the usual hunting. And there's like towns nearby as well. You can go raid the towns and so forth. And every so often there's a supply drop. A plane will fly overhead. And if you follow it, it will drop a crate, which will then source of smoke. Or you've got to try
He'll
and
drop
find
a crate that leads you right to where the zombies are.
Well, the crate is not nearby, so you have to try and find the crate, but it only sort of like sends smoke out while it's falling. As soon as it hits the ground, it stops. So you have to sort of lock on and go, right, I am now going to walk as the crow flies. Do not deviate. Do not change direction. I must find this crate.
Oh shit, Cliff. Ah!
Well, because the crates often got good things like have shotgun shells in them or shotguns in them, so it's usually worth finding. I've only found like 2 and I've had 5 drops because if you miss them, like the third drop, I was underground when it happened. I was like lugging it upstairs trying to get to the top to find where is it? Where is it? Oh, I've missed it. It's somewhere. It's roughly in the direction over there, but it could be the other side of the map. So realistically, this isn't going to happen. So day 2 comes, okay. So the next night comes, and I'm sat there, and I go out at the next blood moon.
This would make a great story.
Yeah, I go out there with my shotgun, my pistols. Like I'm ready.
I'm actually imagining this. Like
I'm ready.
Nick's all geared up.
I hear the screams, and I hear them come running over, and I hear them all getting stuck in the moat and so forth. And as they suddenly appear out into the gloom because it even like dims all the lights in the building. So I've got candles around the house, candles that never go out, which is really handy.
Magic candles.
They all come out, and I literally shoot a shotgun, boom, blow the head off the first one, and it's a one-hit shot. You kill with him in the head, as we all know. Destroy the brain, destroy the head, destroy the brain. Then they sent zombie dogs after me, and that didn't go well. I died again, and I basically died again. This time, what I did was I ran out my escape hole. And basically, they must like lock on where you are at that time. That's where they assault you. So because I ran out my escape hole, I was like far enough away from them, they didn't bother me anymore. So I just waited till like saw daylight, then went back in and saw what damage they'd done, and they put some holes in the house.
What
I was most
inconsiderate
annoyed.
bastard.
I only just repaired that.
Jeez.
So I thought, right, okay, I've got to start paying for the next day. So this time, I had the moat again. I left it as it was. This time I filled it with spiked traps, which take a lot of wood to build. It takes 20 wood to build a spike trap, and I think I put in 200 of them.
So what you're saying is the Amazon rainforest didn't last the 7 days.
No, I've cut down many trees.
Many forests have now
I
vanished.
also managed to get a lot of cobblestone. I built basically a 4-block story wall around my whole house. The only way into my house now is through the escape tunnel, which I now call the main entrance. That's the only way in out of my house now. I've got double doors built in with metal bits. So I'm getting a lot more prepared. So I then spend literally a whole day just hunting, getting loads of meat in and so forth. I've got my 5,000 bits of meat, which will last me a day. Got them all set up. All ready to go, and I'm sat there, and I'm on my next night. So I just played this last night. Okay, so I'm sat there. I've got my shotgun, and it gets every sort of 7 days. So
shotgun.
I'm on day 21 now, and every 7 days
they
escalate as well as every sort of week goes on. Although apparently it resets at after day 49, it resets back to as if it's day 1 again. Not the game, just the zombies. So they all calm down again, which is sort of quite nice. It means you get a little bit of a respite every so often. So I'm sat there, and it's remarkably how atmospheric it becomes, because I'm just sat there with my shotgun in the corner of the room, and I could just hear the horde coming. I just hear the screams and grunts as they fall into the spikes, and I can just hear all around me just the noise of these spikes getting hit and doing damage and so forth, and the noise of zombies. There's lots of them out there. I can just hear them, and every so often, the noise just sort of eases off and the grunts stop. You think. And then also you hear it again, another group from different areas, obviously attacking elsewhere. And then also they start getting really loud, really near. And they're very near the room I was in. And look, I'm just sat there, and all of a sudden I just see splinters coming out of the wall. They've breached my outer walls, and they've now breached my inner sanctum, which is only made of wood. So realistically, it's not going to be far. And I literally, the last lot comes running at me. I've got my shotgun. I just start blasting the heads off. But only about 6 have made it through all my defences. And I managed to blast them and kill them and so forth. And I survived. So on day 21, I survived my first blood moon all the way through.
There you go.
But it was really absurd, because I knew they were going to break through.
Why were you not streaming it?
I should have been.
Yeah,
I should have been.
Like sort of game that
I should have
streaming.
I should have streamed it.
Could have made a film about this.
I was literally on day 4, just wait there, wait. Here they come. They're going to break through any second. Any second they're going to break through. And when they do, and because it's all like dynamic, you're just waiting for that moment.
What's that dude who plays that? Who's that dude who plays Aquaman in the new?
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, we could get him to play you.
Yes, they'll be happy with that.
Isn't that a bit obvious now?
Well, yeah, I know.
But we're very similar
come on.
physiques.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I was thinking of more. No, Seth Rogen maybe.
I mean, we've got Danny Glover playing old Stewie.
Yeah.
Remember Stewie from college?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got Danny Glover playing him.
Oh, good. Does Danny Glover know this?
Yeah, I tweeted him.
Oh,
he's playing the part. I even tweeted Usain Bolt and said that he's playing me.
The difference will be uncanny.
No one knows.
No one will notice at all.
Again, it's pretty obvious now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
Either
know.
Usain Bolt or Jesus.
Well, you know.
But Jesus, he's hugging Hobby's agent.
Oh, he's so busy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's so busy these days. So
Yeah, he's podcasting here.
But yes, that was. And I waited till like the next morning when it's all got a bit lighter, so I go out and survey the damage. Because obviously the spikes, as they get hit by them, they get damaged in return, so the spikes get destroyed. So I could sort of like climb up onto my outer walls and look down and see where they'd obviously started breaching it. I found the gap in the wall where they'd obviously broke their way through. So I was like, okay, now I know what I need to do for next time, replace all the spikes, and like I want to double up my wall thicknesses and make it really fit. Basically going to build a bunker. But I've also the trouble is the area I'm in is quite
very
cold.
homely now.
This is a zombie horde game. You can't be homely. You've got to be practical in these situations. I've also got an issue because obviously the area I'm in is very cold. So as soon as I open the door, I get cold. Now what cold does is basically make your food use go up. Now he's a wimp. Okay, this guy goes down the cold. And it says, I went outside, it says, you're cold. So I went and looked to what temperature was. It was 67 degrees Fahrenheit, which I looked up. And it's about 16 degrees Celsius.
Pussy.
Exactly. Fucking wimp.
Cold?
He's cold. Well, you fucking wimp.
Jesus fucking Christ! Thankfully, the bastard don't live in
I
Finland.
don't put thermals on until it gets to below 8. Fucking wimp when I'm working outside, obviously.
Yeah.
But absolutely fucking wimp.
So. I've never worn thermals, but I've never really been a big
Yeah, you
outside.
never really worked, have you? So
I went as a caretaker at school. I was outdoorsy. I had a glass of water that actually froze.
I was going to say you had a glass of water. Was that it? That's the highlight.
They said, "Oh my, you used by him as a caretaker. Oh, my glass of water's frozen. Oh, wow."
I left after that. You know.
Yeah. Was that the final straw?
Yeah.
You can't supply water; it doesn't freeze. That's not possible, Middlemeister. I don't care. Put some salt in it. That won't help. Put vodka in it. That will help, but it will get you fired. I think we've answered the question, haven't we? We've worked out what happened.
God damn it. Funny about that. When you're working around kids drinking.
Yeah. So what I've done is, because it's so cold, basically, I've decided that I'm going to tunnel from my house to the nice part. So I've started the TheSuffolkRam underground long range tunneling project.
This is Nicktopia 6.
This is and I've dug a tunnel. Now it takes about 10 seconds to walk from one end of the tunnel to the other, and I'm not quite a fifth of the way there. So it's going to be a bit of a journey, okay? And it's only like big enough to sort of crawl through single handed. But eventually I'm going to I want to dig all the way through. Then eventually I want to sort of properly nice make it all like bits around and set it out and so forth.
I feel like I know more about this game than the developers do now.
Probably.
It's a very nice game. You can also build motorcycles and like cars in it as well.
There.
It takes a lot of resources to do it, but you can
Fuck
do
that.
it.
I'll make a zombie-powered motorcycle.
Yeah.
I will make it out of zombies.
There you go. I've now just built a forge as well, so I can start because as you get better tools, they can be repaired. So basic tools are paired with like stone or wood. Because they're basically stone axes or wood axes.
Don't say that to the modern people. They think, what do you mean repair them? You mean go to the shop? It's a zombie apocalypse, mate.
No,
go to the shop.
It means click on your inventory and hit the A key.
Oh.
Right, yeah.
Days Gone is all about motorbikes, you know.
Oh.
And now I've got
I like motorbikes.
Motorbikes like one
now
of the
I've
characters,
got
you know. That kind of
iron weapons.
emphasis.
They can only be repaired with forged iron. Not as you can't use normal iron, which you find by harvesting cars. You usually walk out of a car and actually just whack it, and you'll harvest iron off it.
As you do.
And
Street Fighter.
and somehow
That's
you also
I Hadouken my car. And
somehow you also harvest petrol out of them, and you just magically make a petrol can to store it in.
Yeah.
And
I thought you just put it in your pockets.
And you also harvest lead out of them. So yeah, there you go. You can also harvest rubbish bags and get polymers. So forth. So basically, I'm building a tunnel underground.
This guy sounds like a bit of a cook, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I'm building, and then once I got to the tunnel, you see.
When's he building the meth lab?
I was going to say, like a meth cook, maybe.
Yeah. Jesus, mate.
Once I finish my tunnel, that's going to be sort of the nice open air, and then I'm going to set up my farm.
Oh.
I've got to start growing plants.
He's going to have his zombies there, you know.
Yeah, farm
Yeah,
for
fine.
me. So yeah, apparently
Summer house.
what some people do is they build like a horde house, which what they do for the on the blood moon. They
Horde
horde
house. Sorry.
So what they do is on the blood moon, they literally just build like a shelter elsewhere for their main base, which is where they go on the blood moon. And there's like one guy who's built like his like 10 cobblestone blocks thick with like double iron doors all the way down. So he like sort of like goes in closed door, closed door, closed door, closed door, and just waits and just see they break their way through. Because unlike Minecraft, you can't pick up a block that easily. If you put it down, you have to destroy it to get rid of it. So you can't think, I know, I'll just entomb myself. That's not a good idea. Because you will get trapped in there, and you will starve to death while you're trying to break your way out. I thought I want to recreate that Peter Molyneux experiment. You know, where you had that cube.
Oh, right, yeah.
I thought about building that in, and I'd be the prize in the middle for the zombies, and just see how long it takes them to get through. Because I don't think they destroy terrain. They don't seem to attack terrain. They'll attack like construction blocks. So they don't seem to attack terrain blocks. So I'm just trying to work out if I can like build a really deep pit with a ladder.
Sounds really, really homely, that one. A pit.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought about I haven't yet gone into how far down I can dig, because obviously in Minecraft you just dig right down. Eventually you just fall into nothing.
I thought you hit bedrock if you went.
No, you can eventually dig through to the bottom of the world and leave the world.
No, only in creative mode.
Yeah. But I want to see how far down I can go, and I might just create like a really big pit.
Cool.
And see if I can jump all the zombies in it.
Cool.
But yeah, it's quite a neat game. I've put in about 30 hours into it, which is basically for an early access game. I mean, you do still need to get the skills and actually finish it.
Does it still kind of look like Ark and the same? Because you sound like
it's nowhere near as pretty. It's not as pretty as ours. Nowhere near the same graphical quality.
But mechanically,
it's very similar. Yeah, it's mechanically. Obviously, the advantage you can with that sort of like the voxel based.
Yeah.
It's neat.
I was just curious, like interface wise, and the fact that
interface. And it's not
the temperatures and all that, because there's so many games that have that same thing. Oh, you're cold. Oh no, you've crapped your pants. Oh no.
Yeah, you get lots of icons, so any sort of status effect will appear as an icon on your screen.
Sure.
But if you want hard numbers, you have to then go into the actual look at your stats in the main inventory and so forth.
I do that every day in real life.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, look at hard stats and so forth. You can see it. Oh, it's got RPG mechanics, so you level up. As you kill things, you get experience. You can level up, and then you can put them towards things, so you can like sort of increase your carrying capacity.
You start min-maxing.
You can, yeah. I mean, well, it's army, so that's clever. So you have like an overall, a bit like Skyrim had like you had like you could upgrade the stats. Then you had like sub bits you saw upgrade afterwards. This is a similar system. So you have like a stats like fortitude or perception, strength. There's one like sort of a sciencey one, intelligence I think it might be. And you upgrade that.
Sciencey one is intelligence.
You upgrade that stat, and then those allow you to upgrade substats.
Right.
So you can't upgrade a substat higher than your main
base,
stat. Yeah. So you have to upgrade that one, which works quite neatly. So I mean, I've increased mainly my sort of the size of gives you do more crafting and so forth. But it takes quite a lot of work to get there. It's like you have to craft forge. You have to get like 5 levels in that side before you can even get the one that lets you craft a forge. So it's definitely quite a slow building game. I think the only thing to tweak is the food mechanic, because I think it's a bit too annoying now. The fact that you have to like get so much meat off an animal, but then it just
you have to literally slaughter. Well, let's put it this way: there's probably majority of the animals on the planet are now extinct thanks to just you.
Yeah. Well, the trouble is also it's very basically I literally wandered for like an entire day before I found a boar. It's then another day you'll run across 4 or 5 wolves, which you can harvest meat as well, and like a boar and so forth. And it's very luck based how quickly you find things. So it's not. And it'd be nice if you could like set traps up or something, like little snares up to like so you don't get a lot like a rabbit, but you don't get a lot, but you get something. Yeah. Because at the moment it's just a bit hit and miss, but it does create tension. You don't say, "Oh, I better go raid that village now." Well, I know the zombies are going to be there, but I have to raid it just to try and retrieve stuff. And it's quite nice when you sort of like going because all the buildings have been built using this in-game system. They've also got certain objects which are like fixed, but all the buildings are built using that sort of their own rules, which means you could recreate everything, which is really neat. So you can sort of like if you want build like a really nice looking castle or something if you want, because you've got like proper corner blocks, like proper tier blocks, you can make it look really nice. So it's a very neat game. They just need to finish it. Because I think if I'd be pissed off now it's one of those games where you look at the reviews and all once again downsides, all been playing it for like 200 hours, but it's because they've not finished. They've been playing it since early access came out like 6 years ago. And they've not actually released like a final version yet. Sure, it's like come on guys, it's nearly, and it does still feel like a game in development when you play it. It does that sort of. This doesn't feel like quite fully implemented yet. Yeah, it just gets a feel about it as you're playing it. So they just need to do some work on that. Yeah, but that's quite neat. Cool. Really? That's it. Yeah. So, anything else before we move on?
I have been playing a game.
Oh, go on.
It's awful. It's really awful. It isn't that awful. I've been playing Penny Punching Princess on Nintendo Switch. It was originally a PlayStation Vita game. It's an RPG beat-em-up style game, top-down. It's sprite based, so it's kind of like 16-bit style top-down deal. Oh, yeah. More detailed sprites, mind you, but very kind of retro-y art style. The idea behind Penny Punching Princess is that once upon a time, might was right, and your father ruled the land just through fear, power, whatever. If you were the strongest, you were the one in charge. Over time, capitalism kicks in. Whoever's got the money can bribe.
As it always does.
Can bribe the strongest. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how tough you are or how scared people are of you. You can always bribe. You can always bribe the powerful. The king fucks up slips into debt, and dies because he can't manage money. He just rules the old way. 10 years pass, and the princess decides to take revenge on the drag-alone company that basically threw the king out of the kingdom.
Could you not have consolidated all his debts into one easy monthly payment?
Well, I think that might have been the option, but I think the repayments were a little too steep for Mr. Kingy here. So it's interesting. So I say it's an RPG style beat 'em up. So you have stats and armor. Levels are, you'd think the way they look, they were procedurally generated, but they're not. It's all the same style. As you go through, you have a punch, you have a dodge roll, you have a special attack which is linked to your armor. So you've got various different types. You've got buff, spin, so you'll like to spin on the spot, fireball, and I think there might be a couple of others, but I only really used a few. And then you've got your calculator. The calculator mechanic is, the calculator is quite interesting because obviously it's a capitalist world, and the idea is that you are just one princess. You're just the princess. That you're not hugely strong, but you've got money. So as you're beating up enemies, you get more money, and you can use that money to bribe your opponents so that they fight for you. So you look. Let's say there's a couple of skeletons that have attacked you. You're running low on health. Bring up the calculator, find out how much they want, bribe them with it. Because each enemy
that's not how calculators work.
No, but each enemy has a price. So
it should be a chip and pin reader.
Well,
Video game logic now.
yeah, that's it. That's it. It's a magic calculator that comes from the god of money. So
what would be great is if they've all got all the enemies all contactless readers.
That'd be hilarious.
The mechanic is just to wave a little card in front of me.
Look at that in front.
Just a quick thing. There was Grand Tour last night. They went to visit this monument to communism, and it was anti-capitalism. And they went there, and he said, we went there to visit, and they showed them going to the gift shop and spending money at the gift shop, and then walking across from this communist monument from McDonald's. It's just, it's supposed to be this massive anti-capitalism thing. And there's McDonald's and gift shops.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
They get charged an entry fee as well.
Probably.
So you get to bribe enemies. Neat mechanic. You also get to bribe relics. So relics are like traps.
So you can bribe a trap.
Yes.
I will pay you £50 if you don't cut my leg off.
Well, that's kind of how it works. So there's supposed to be these magical relics of a time long past. You go in, you can bribe them. So spike pits, like fire traps, cannons, all that kind of stuff. You can bribe it. They all have limited uses, so you can't just bribe them and just keep on spamming them. But you can even bribe like healing traps that are on, or like healing circles that are on the floor. So that's the way you heal in the game. Or there are specific healer enemies that you can bribe to use. Each level has a requirement. So it'll be kill all the enemies. Kill a specific enemy, have a certain amount of money, and beat an enemy. Each area has a time limit. You don't have to beat the enemy as well, by the way. So if a boss comes up to you, some of the bosses in the defeat all enemies section, they're bribable. You don't have to beat them, just bribe them. The more people you bribe, the better armor that you can make later on. So you can you upgrade your armor through the enemies that you've bribed. The more people that you bribe and bring to your kingdom, the bigger the kingdom, the more stat points you can get. So that's kind of neat. The story is bollocks. It is absolutely bollocks. How long do you think this game sounds like it should last? 5
minutes.
I'd say that's taking the piss a little bit.
Maybe sort of 8 to 10 hours, maybe.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. How long does it last?
No idea.
5 minutes.
18 hours.
18 hours. That's
twice as long as it hours. It's twice as long as it probably should be, and it's fucking painful. Because initially the story's kind of like, oh, that's kind of cute, that's kind of fun, that's kind of funny, and then you're like, I'm sick of the way the characters talk. They're not voiced. only the narrator is it actually speaks. The other people like talking gibberish.
Oh yeah.
But it's the way it's written is stupid. It's difficult to read. The characters all sound stupid. Obviously, they're all obsessed with money. But it's awful. By the time you get to chapter 4, you're like, when will this end? And it's one of those games that you'll get to where the end is supposed to be, and they'll go, you did it, but wait, there's more. And it's like, oh, great, here we go again. Another chapter. And then you finish that chapter. You've beaten the boss, but no, there was someone pulling the strings, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, will you just fucking stop?
Why we're playing the sequel to the sequel?
And then towards the end, well, there are some points where there's just fucking massive difficulty spikes. So you'll have to go back into zones to bribe enemies to grind to get armor. Because if you don't up your stats, you'll just get curb stomped. Also, if you don't upgrade your armor, you can't carry money. Because the maximum amount of money that you can carry is directly tied to what kind of armor you're wearing. So if your armor has got, say, a limit of $2,000, and you're now in a mission where you need to save $10,000, you can't do it because you can't carry that much money. It's not good. it's not good.
No.
Is it any good mechanically?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's a bit of a mess.
Is there any redeeming features to it whatsoever?
The music.
Okay.
The music's nice. The graphics are quite nice. You know, the style of it's quite nice. The problem with the mechanics, right, you could end up in a mission where 15 enemies are on the screen, ready to kick the shit out of you, and you want to bribe one specific enemy. So you're running around with the analog stick. You then have to press the calculator button, the bribe button. Then you have to move with the D-pad to find the enemy in this horde that you want to bribe, hope that you've highlighted the right enemy, and then bribe them. If you've got the wrong one, you better be fucking in a good position to run, because you've got to wait for the calculator to recharge. Then you can try it again.
So when you buy them, do they then sort of like work for you? Will you then like fight? Can you like sort of turn them on each other, or
So
they will become part of your?
They will become a temporary attack. So you've got your punch button, your special button. Like your special button, you might be able to use 3 times, depending on what armor you're wearing. You can use it maybe 3 times before you have to wait for that to recharge. Each enemy will have a different number of uses. So let's say they put it on the X button or whatever. You bribe a skeleton, that specific skeleton may fight for you 3 times. So you can press a button and it will do its attack. That's 1 use gone. Press the button again, another attack. And then when it's gone, they're gone. They will go back to your kingdom so that you can use them as a resource, but then they're gone. Some of the bigger enemies that will cost like 8 to 10 grand to bribe, they might only have 1 use, but will deal massive damage if you hit. And the hitboxes are shite. Really shite. You know, it's... If it was shorter, and it didn't think it was so funny, it wouldn't be so bad. But it just goes on and on and on. And it's like, I get what you're doing here, but it's not funny. It gets grindy. I mean, missions have a 60-minute time limit. I can understand that with Monster Hunter. I can't understand that with these little tiny dungeons. And some of them really do take a long fucking time. They really drag on. I've got nothing else to say. The soundtrack's good.
Not a ringing endorsement. Good soundtrack.
Yeah, good soundtrack. Good soundtrack, but everything else about it is pretty poor. I see what they were trying to do with it, but it was just too long and they want too much money for it. I think they want something in the regions of about 40 quid for it.
Ouch.
Yeah. Now, I got it on sale for 17, and I still think that was too expensive. I would have probably happily paid, 10 or 15 for it. And I would have wanted to have been cut half the length.
If it was about 8 hours, it would have been cheap as well. They could have, you know.
It would have been, if it was 8 hours, it'd have been fine.
Yeah.
But just some of those missions just went on for too long. Some of the enemies hit too fucking hard.
Yeah. Did you manage to finish it, or could you not get through it all?
No, I finished it.
Oh,
I fucking bit down. I played that game to the end. There's one more mission in it, which is like the ultra hard dungeon, which comes after the story, and I was like, fuck you, we're done. Because I did say, I think they, you know, the bait and switch, where I said, oh yeah, look, it's the end. Look, I assume you two aren't going to play it.
No.
I assume no one listening to this is going to play it. If you do, cover your ears. 3, 2, 1. They do it 3 fucking times, man. It's fine the first time. But when you keep throwing chapters at me that can last like 2 or 3 hours a time, you're taking the piss.
See, Ni no Kuni did that, sorry, but just once, really cleverly.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
But Penny Punching Princess ain't clever.
No.
It's not clever at all. It's fucking...
It's not big and it's not clever.
No.
It's just... Oh, my God.
Like a special needs dwarf.
Yeah. It looked neat. It looked neat. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, you know what? I really want to play this. And then I realised that the stuff that I'd watched...
Never heard that before. Yeah, well done, Nick.
The stuff that I watched looked pretty neat. And then I realised the stuff I watched was only the first zone. I mean, some people are like, oh, yeah, the game takes... Because depending on where you look, some people say, oh, yeah, the game takes about 13 hours to beat. Other people are like, no, the game takes like 20 to 30 hours to beat. I would say it's definitely more than 13 hours. Because you have to grind...
Yeah.
You have to grind enemies.
See, grinding in a game to me is artificial lengthening. I don't like any game which you can have a tiny little bit of grinding, but as soon as it gets too much,
Yeah.
that's like, okay, you're just artificially making this game long now.
Well, when you're grinding and then you throw in that the end of the game ain't the end of the game, you better keep on going. Now you're taking the piss. Because at a point, I didn't have to level up anymore. I was just beating the ever-loving shit out of people. But by that point, I was so tired of playing it, I just wanted to finish it. I refused to suffer through that and not finish it.
No.
So I don't recommend it unless you can get it for about $10. It plays okay, with the exception of the bribe mechanic, because you hit the button and all of a sudden it targets something that's miles away and you can't.
Does it sort of even pause the game while you're doing that?
No, it's still moving.
That wouldn't be so bad, would it?
It's still moving as you're. So the enemies are still like the end boss could still be firing at you whilst you're trying to select the enemy that you want to bribe. It might not even ever target the enemy that you want to bribe, because it might have been just slightly out of your range. And it's like, great, nice one. But if you want to get through it with minimal effort, just grind statues, bump your stats up, and just wail on them. Don't worry about by the end of it, you won't even need to bribe enemies because you'll be punching out bosses like.
Awesome.
Not recommended.
Okay. Anything for TV? I believe Middlemeister says something.
Yeah, it's a Netflix show, and a lot of people have claimed it's the best thing Netflix have ever done, and it is very good.
If you're about to say Star Trek Discovery,
No.
I will go spare.
No, it's called Russian Doll.
Oh, fuck off. Right. No.
Do you not like it?
No. Inky was watching it. What a complete and utter crock of dog shit.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was brilliant.
It's shot really nice. I just don't like it.
It's only eight episodes, 25-minute average, so it's not like a big investment, but I really it starts off a little strange, because basically what happens is it starts with a girl standing in front of a mirror. Billy Joel's song plays. She goes out into this big room. There's loads of people, and you realise it's her birthday. She's having a big party. All her friends are there. She sort of gets high, and then goes home with some, at the time, random guy. Has a bit of fun, then they leave. And she's walking across the street. It's New York, Manhattan. She gets hit by a car. She's dead. And then,
That's a short programme.
Yeah, and a second later, she's standing in front of that same mirror, same bathroom, same party, and the day, every time she dies, a day resets
it's
to that
Groundhog
point.
Day.
Yeah,
Kind of, but it's not
basically a shit Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day.
Yeah, but it gets so clever towards the end. It gets so brilliant. Like halfway through, the show completely changes, and it becomes something totally different. But it's not Groundhog Day because she can survive to the next day and continue forward. Just when she dies, she does reset. She doesn't manage to get very far. She gets blown up in a gas explosion.
Like a really shit quick save.
Kind of, but yeah, I actually thought the first couple of episodes I was a bit like, I'm not so sure about this. I'm not loving these characters, but it does progress to become something really, really.
The idea
hard
of
to
it's
not watch.
fine, because Steins Gate has the same kind of groove where you're constantly going back to one point to try and fix a problem, but I didn't like the characters.
Yeah, but they change throughout the thing. It does evolve.
Oh, no,
really
I don't care.
nicely.
I didn't like them. I saw it kind of beginning, middle, and then I was like, no, I don't want to watch this anymore.
I didn't begin with, but they do become. I know exactly what you mean, but as it goes on, they do become more likable and more relatable. It does. I know what you mean, though. It starts off a little bit. It doesn't really welcome people in very easily, but I love just the thing of the day resetting. I do like that kind of stuff, and but it's not like everything's normal each time. Some things do start to go a bit, like time in one way is still going forward, but it works differently for them. So fruit still starts to turn and become rotten, but only to them, and only the outside of the fruit, not the inside. And it's all this kind of fourth dimension stuff. And the further you get into it, the more complex and more mysterious and more kind of entertaining it becomes. Things really do. I don't want to say because there's, don't want to give it away, but it really does become very good.
Inky liked it. Liked it, but then I'm a lot harder to please when it comes to TV time because TV time I'm just
I know what you mean,
sat there vegging.
I'm sort of the same, but I thought it was excellent. I really like every episode. It gets better, but I know what you mean. It does start off a little bit hard to get into.
I liked how it was shot.
Yeah,
I liked how it was
directed.
shot, and I'm quite a fan of Groundhog Day and that kind of thing.
Great style.
I just didn't like the characters.
Yeah,
even towards the end. Yeah, but even towards the end, because I'd occasionally then come back in and see what the wife was still watching it. It just wasn't my groove.
That's fair enough, but I think I'd still recommend people give it a good shot, at least to the halfway point. That's only 4 episodes. 20, get to the halfway point to see if you're still into it. But I know what you mean. It starts off a little rough, but I really did enjoy that a lot in time.
I watched 9 22-minute episodes of an anime based on rock paper scissors. So I can't really. I can't really QQ there.
There's not a lot I can say because, as you know, if people want to be spoilers, you can't go that far without spoiling it. But yeah, that's. I loved it. I'd recommend people give it a go to see if it's their kind of thing. Yeah, but that's Russian Doll, Netflix, 8 episodes. I personally, not so
I
much,
feel
but
it might be
loved
something that I'll change my mind on later. Just
if you're pressured for what you're watching, if you've got a bit more time and you can just enjoy it, you might be more into it then. But yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I very rarely get a chance to watch TV. I mean,
I know what you mean. If you've got no time to watch it, you have to prioritise something you're going to like.
Well, because like when we were watching Animal
World.
Yeah, Animal World the other time, that was a right struggle for us to actually sit down and watch that. And that's just one film. That would have been like the first film I'd watched in a long time. Yeah. So then for me to be able to sit down and watch those, I watched 9 episodes of the anime that's based on. That took me nearly a month to watch 9 episodes.
That's true, actually. This show, I would recommend watching it over 2-3 days because you really want to keep everything because everything comes back to the beginning.
It's a binging show.
Yeah, definitely binge this show.
Shit, I couldn't do it.
No, but that's what I would recommend.
That in one sitting, you see.
No, I did it in 3. Like I watched first episode, then I watched like the second one, then I watched like the third one, and I just watched it all the way through from that point because it suddenly grabbed me halfway through. But yeah, it's Russian Doll.
Yeah.
Do we need to talk about Animal World as we put off last podcast?
Yeah, if you want to, because we mentioned we said we'd talk about it. You couldn't even fucking get through it.
No,
How far did you get?
Maybe not even 10 minutes.
Wow.
We really didn't give it a chance. See, he complained to you about leaving Rough and Doll chance. He couldn't watch more than 10 minutes of a film.
No, I know. That's.
To be fair, the first
it doesn't
part
even
of the film,
start, does it? Until like
it doesn't feel like it'd be my kind of thing.
I must admit, I was like you. I struggled through the first half an hour or so, basically to the point where he goes on the ship. And
Did you even get to the point where he got to the ship?
No.
no, you see what that's
The main point of the film.
That's when it actually gets good.
Yeah.
Once it gets to the ship, that's when it gets good. The first part of the film, I will admit, is a struggle.
Yeah.
All that nonsense with the clown,
Yeah.
I didn't like at all. I thought it felt very unnecessary. I get what they're trying to represent, and also, I think the director saw The Matrix and saw how cool slow-mo was, and he went overboard on it really early on. There's so many slow-mo bits early on. It's like, oh, for crying out loud, just put the fast forward back on, please. But the overall story, I enjoyed it. Yep. I enjoyed it. I had to play Michael Douglas. I was not expecting that. When he appeared on the crowd, it's like, hang on, no, what? Then he turns up, it's like, and he's actually not even like a side part. He's actually quite a main character.
He's one of the main villains, though.
I mean, perhaps we should briefly tell the story, the plot line.
Do you want to go over the film?
Yeah.
And then
So, basic plot line is this guy, he's working as a clown, ironically. And he's got a bit of traumatic childhood. His father was killed when he was young. His mother's in hospital, and he's got to try and pay for her care. And he's still working. And his childhood friend, who's been long-term childhood friend, comes up with this get-rich-quick scheme where he's going to. I think he's going to buy an apartment and sell it on him, but he needs some cash flow. So he basically asks this guy, "Can I sell your apartment?" and so forth. I think it works. He's going to set up for like £80,000. I think if you actually translate it across, it's like 2 million yen. I think is it yen they use?
I can't remember what it was. Just
whatever they use, and he's going to basically sell for Gil. Yeah. It turns out that the money that was actually not true. He wasn't funny. He was basically trying to pay some debts off to some bad people. And these people are a bit like, I don't want to say the Yakuza because all the not Trojans, the Triads. I don't think they're like the Triads, but they are sort of similar organisation, like sort of organised crime organisation. They basically say to him, right, look, you can either pay it off, but you're going to be working full time for like the next 80 years to pay it off, or we have this ship, and if you go on, and if you win, your debts are
wiped clean.
And so he decides, obviously, like most people decide to go on the ship. And the basic idea is when he gets there, he gets introduced that they're going to be playing a game. The game is we're all familiar with, rock, paper, scissors. And you basically, but everybody's given what's a bit unique.
It's restricted rock, paper, scissors. Yeah. You get a deck of cards with
12 cards, 4 of each, and that's it. You can trade them, you can buy them, you can do whatever. There's no real rules for cards that. I mean, I'm assuming you can steal them as well. There's no real rules said. I don't think it says that you can't steal them. No restriction there, but there's a finite number of cards in the game, and there's a fixed amount for the whole game, all equal amounts, basically. So it gets quite tactical actually. Because if you think about it, if you had that situation, you would actually get quite tactical. And he quite early on gets screwed over. Yeah, and he's just at a mile, coming away a mile. He's very naive about that. I mean, I think everybody was. If you watch, I think you're all going to be screaming like, "Come on, mate! Clearly, this is not going to go well for you. This is clearly you're about to be done over here. Just pay attention." But then, basically, what follows? It's almost like it's actually quite a. It's quite heavy on the maths. Actually, it's almost like mathematical probability. It just teach you all about probability and how he's working out what he needs to do, what tactics to portray, what tactics to play, and so forth. I think, enjoyable story. I mean, the plot line isn't. You'll guess the big twist at the big twist at the end about one of the other characters I saw from the moment he was introduced.
Yep.
So you sort of guess what's going to happen towards the end. There are some surprises down the line, but nothing particularly. But it's just interesting. It's just a thrilling sort of watch as they go through this game and happens to everybody. So I thought all the nonsense of the clown stuff. I just thought a bit unnecessary.
That's not in the anime.
No.
So it's actually very faithful to the anime. The entire film takes place over 9 episodes of the anime, roughly. And so the main difference is the main character doesn't have a job. He's unemployed, he's been working odd jobs, but he is not a clown. And a bloke randomly turns up at his apartment and says, "Look, are you such and such? Do you know this guy?" you signed off on a loan for him. And he's like, well, yeah, I worked with him like a couple of years ago or whatever, you know, but I haven't seen him since. It's like, well, you signed on the line and he hasn't paid a goddamn penny back. And based on the rate of interest, you currently owe big sum of money. The guy basically craps his pants and he's told, look, it's going to take you about 30 years to pay this off. Or you can come aboard the ship and play the game and, you know, we will clear... You'll have the chance to clear your debts. Not everyone's going to clear their debts, but you can clear your debts.
Yeah.
Now, there are a few differences in how this works in the anime to the film. So in the film, no matter what, if you've got your 3 stars, you are clear as you walk off the boat.
They're like your lives, aren't they?
Yeah. In the anime, it's more aggressive. There's, when you start the game, the mafia, the yakuza, the triads, whoever they are, basically say, right, at the start of the game, you have the option to take between 1 million and 10 million. However, you will incur 40% interest per minute of the game from whatever you take. And the idea is that you win stars at the end of the game, you can sell your stars, and any money you get over your interest, you can keep.
Yeah.
If not, you could find yourself spiraling even further into debt,
Yeah.
and you're ours, basically. The main character borrows 10 million right off the bat. He's pulling in a lot of debt quickly. The 2 main characters, so he bumps into the same character who he was working with, but it wasn't a childhood friend. His mother isn't sick, by the way, in this one either. In the anime, she's alive and well.
Yeah.
She's working. They threaten his family at one point as well. Look, if you can't pay this off, we're going after them. And that'd be a bit of a shitter if we go after your family. You don't want that. And he's like, whoa, all right, I'm on the boat, kind of thing. He bumps into the dude that originally he co-signed the loan for, and he bumps into the big guy from the film as well. However, the big guy isn't getting bullied in the anime at all. So they start working together, just like in the film. It pretty much plays play for play like the film, but the ending is motivated slightly differently. The big guy's like, dude, he has got so much money. The loan he took from these guys was so high. Even if we have these stars, we're going to leave with more debt than we came on board the ship. Leave him. We'll sell the stars. We'll make a tiny profit. That's where the anime and the film really differ.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's the same.
Yeah.
And I was really, really pleased with that. Because I remember, actually, the anime gets really dark later on. So, potentially, if they start making sequels to the film, it's going to get quite aggro. But it was nice.
It sets up for a sequel at the end.
Yeah.
Which it felt a little bit out of left field. It felt a bit like weird going there. It'd been better if it ended in such a way that he still owed money, but he like to survive that round. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't end. He thinks he's scot free, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It doesn't come off that way later on.
See, they don't do that in the anime. You know that he's still bundled in debt. He's still buried in debt. How do they get rid of the cards at the end? Like him and his team. How do they get rid of their?
They basically play off. Don't they play off against each other?
They're drawing it.
Yeah.
That's different in the anime as well.
Yeah.
Basically, he hands... So, the main character ends up losing and gets put into the kind of the prison bit where his friends are then given the opportunity to buy him out in both the film and the anime. This is still worth watching even though we're telling you this stuff.
Yeah.
But in the anime, they have so little time left, they wouldn't be able to play against each other. So he hands one of his team one card, some of his stars, and then says, right, just play me. I'll take all these cards. You play me. I'll lose. These cards go straight into the bin. That's it. You've got your stars. You've got my remaining stars. Buy me out at the end of it. And then that's when the double cross happens, because he realizes that, you know, they've got so much debt after taking the loans at the start.
Yeah.
That there would have been no point in them being on the boat.
Yeah.
To begin with.
Yeah. I mean, it's I enjoyed it. It's definitely, if you like maths, you'll like it.
Yeah. And a lot of it still plays out exactly the same as it. You know,
and he also explains as it goes along. He explains like why this makes sense. Well, this is why if you go through this process and so forth. And I mean, the sort of villains of it. I mean, the guy who plays at the start. I think most of the actors are actually quite decent actors as well throughout the film as well. Quite pleased actually how decent. Also, it says something about Chinese. I mean, when I was going into watching a Chinese film, I thought, "What this is going to be like? This is going to be." But after that, it's surprisingly really well done and surprising. Yeah, really good idea how. They do a really nice job.
It's shot really well. The actors are all pretty good in their parts.
Yeah.
I will say that the main character in the film is a bit more manly than the guy in the anime. The guy in the anime is constantly fucking crying. He is constantly on the edge of breaking down. Whereas the dude in the film is a little bit more kind of, you know, well-rounded. He's holding his own quite well.
Yeah.
But still, very, very good. Very, very interesting film.
No.
And I'm going to continue watching the rest of the series because I remember things getting really nasty really fast. And there's 2 seasons. So if there's 26 episodes a season, and I've only gone through 9 for the boat to finish. So that film takes place in 9 episodes. There's a hell of a lot more to go. So I'm interested to see. I'm actually now looking forward to the second film. Like,
is there something actually confirmed?
I believe so. I'm like, don't hold me on that one. I haven't done a huge amount of digging, but I've heard it's done really well. There is actually also a live action film already out of the show. So, but I think it's of a later part of the show. I don't think it's the rock, paper, scissors part. So you've got Animal World, and then you've also got Kaiji, Ultimate Survivor, the film, the anime, and the book. So,
cool.
You know.
You don't give him an evil look when he hits the mic.
That's right, because I can cut that out. It's harder to cut out when people are talking and they hit the...
So if I sort of do this while I'm talking away...
Yeah, then it can't be edited out.
So you're going to really irritate you, isn't it, in the edit?
No, because I'm just going to leave it there. Hey, I can't work miracles, mate.
I'm just shouting the mic again like I did last time to really irritate you. And deafen you.
Well, it will me, but it won't them.
Yeah, I know. But I'm only worried about deafening you.
Well, bastard. In fairness, the amount of times you two have been hitting the mic stands and that, I went deaf last time.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, it's good.
They are very close, though. You know, it's hard not to knock them every once in a while. I know they have to be.
Well, that's kind of the way.
Yeah,
it's supposed
I know it has to be.
I'd like eventually for us to have a table to sit around so that these are on a table.
And then when we hit the table leg, all the mics pick it up.
Yeah.
Oh, joys.
Well, is there anything for anybody else?
Nope.
Good. Okay.
There
we
watch
are.
the film, watch the anime, read the manga.
Indeed.
Good.
I'll try and do one of these.
Well, the anime gets to the ship a fuck ton quicker. I mean, a lot quicker. But then it is 22 minutes an episode, 9 episodes to finish what would basically be the film.
There is a lot of scene setting in the film at first.
I take it the anime is. Are they both on Netflix?
Anime is not on Netflix, it's on Crunchyroll.
Ah, okay.
So,
yeah. Well, thank you much on the SuffolkRam.
Middlemeister, I have been.
Skazzius.
Thank you much for tuning. If you've enjoyed this, you can view us on youtube.com/roundnerds. We've also got a website, roundnerds.com, and you've also got twitch.tv/roundnerds. There's a Facebook page, you can find that, I'm sure. Round Nerds, Twitter Round Nerds. There's a Google Plus page, which you can visit just to sort of
until
like
April.
go, until April the 2nd. Is it April the 2nd? I can't remember.
I can't remember now.
And yeah, there we go. So thank you much for watching. See you next time.
Yo.